Good afternoon and welcome one and all to the rush this afternoon. My name is Randolph Critchlow. Welcome to those persons joining us internationally in the region and right here in Guyana. We are live and bringing to you direct from Georgetown, Guyana. Today, folks, we have so many things to unpack. So let's not waste any time this afternoon. We want to say thank you very much for joining us and share the live stream, folks, so we can unpack. Thank you very much for staying tuned this afternoon to the rush as we get it together, folks, to bring you credible and valid information this afternoon. It is Monday. Happy Monday to all of you. Top of the week, the work week that is to you. Folks, we're going to be unpacking some interesting things today because, it has been 351 days now. 351 days of this fraudulent administration. We continue to watch them, folks. We continue to see what this fraudulent administration is up to, folks. And we want to say to you this afternoon, we want to say to you very loudly that some developments that we see in our city especially is quite concerning, folks. And words fail me this afternoon because we are behaving as if there is no, like we don't care. And I start to rant very early before I say to you, thank you for joining us, share the live stream. Now let me get into my rant right now because we have to unpack a number of things. The garbage that these people continue to throw at the bus parks and the market area. Some of us too dirty, man. Some of us too nasty, I want to say it like that. Come on, people. And then, of course, we're going to be dealing with this situation. We're picking up on the story where a Mabaruma doctor would have refused to treat a sick child because the child's mother made some social media post criticizing the service of the hospital and his wife, who is also a doctor at the hospital. We're going to dig deep into that story because that is repulsive to me. That is grounds. Those are grounds, sir, for removal from your job. The PPP running about firing persons for playing domino on the lunch break. But doctors up in Mabaruma are refusing to serve sick people. This child coming there vomiting. We're going to read the story. And apparently this is not an isolated situation. And I'm going to play a recording for you where the Vice Chair of Region 4, Mr. Samuel Sandy, called the Diamond Hospital to get an ambulance for a counselor on the East Bank. And you can hear the tone in the doctor's voice, as if, what, we really can't send an ambulance, a medical emergency. That ambulance never reached, sorry. The ambulance never reached, folks. We're going to be unpacking these issues today, folks, and I want to hear you as usual. Have your say segment. But first, let us say good afternoon to all of you joining the live stream right now. Right, thank you very much. Land of Canaan in the house. Land of Canaan in the house. Thank you very much for all those persons joining us, joining from all over the world. Thank you very much, Patricia Ray, for joining in. Good afternoon, Vanessa, to Andrew, to Sarah, Michelle. Thank you very much. Let us know where you're joining us from. Let me see some of these here. Los Angeles. Thank you very much. From the Isla Penitents. Winston Henry, sorry. Isla Penitents. Folks, we know we have some loyal viewers from all over the world. Our friends over there in Antigua, we're not forgetting you. All over the world, Canada, thank you very much for tuning in this afternoon. Thank you very much. Shout out to all of the people who are normally locked in ready to unpack the credible and valid information. Miss Rose, thank you very much for being a loyal viewer. Paul, thank you very much. Paul, you know yourself. BVI is in the house. Phoenix, Mabaruma. Mabaruma people, we're going to talk about y'all just now. And I want to know if this story is correct. If this story is true, coming out of Mabaruma with that doctor. BVI, all of you in Linden, NYC, Hollis from West, thank you very much. Canada, right? Jomo says, Fanfare says Guyana is in crisis. Of course, it has been in crisis since the 2nd of August. I want you to understand that. Since the 2nd of August 2020, we've entered crisis mode. Wesley Wade from New York, looking at us from on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us from that platform. If you're on YouTube, folks, remember to subscribe. Do not come off the program without hitting the subscribe button. That subscribe button and that notification bell gives you an in. You're now part of the channel. You will get notifications immediately when we are live. And that, we want you to be a part of the family. We want you to be a part of the family. So continue, folks. Eccles in the house, Oakland in the house, Florida is in the house, Paris in the house, Nabakalas. Thank you very much, all of you. Watching from Home Depot. All right, Born, thank you very much. I hope you're not distracted from your job. Good afternoon to you. Yes, Rui Hines says 351 days of this fraudulent government. 351 days, folks, of this fraudulent government. Good afternoon. Barbie's in the house. Good afternoon from BVI. Folks, thank you very much for tuning in. Before we go, remember we asked you to share the live stream. Share the live stream because London in the house. Right. Stoby, of course, you're not late. You're not late. We ain't started to unpack yet. We have not started unpacking yet. New Amsterdam, welcome in. Welcome to the Rush this afternoon, New Amsterdam. Belize, welcome to the Rush. Festival City, welcome to the Rush. Right? Who else is commenting here? Somebody is saying, when Coach is saying right now, Guyana is the land of confusion. Confusion powder sprinkle. Confusion powder sprinkle all over. Paradise Dazzle Housing Scheme. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Rush this afternoon. St. Vincent in the house. UK is in the house. New York, Montserrat is in the house. Right? What's the news today? Miss Thomas wants to know what's the news today. Miss Thomas, the news is that we are going to be looking at some situations unfolding in Mabaruma. We're also going to be looking at the situation with the health in the health sector. We're talking health this afternoon. We're talking the fact that doctors are refusing persons service, are refusing to treat people because of a Facebook post. So we're going to dig deep into that story, and we're going to have an additional story about what happened in Region 4 here at the Diamond Hospital. Watching from Manhattan, New Jersey, Holland. Belladrum is in the house. Bachelor's Adventure, West Ranvelt. Folks, continue to let us know where you're joining us from. All of these places. New Jersey, thank you very much. All right. People want to know what's happening with the petition. Folks, soon we'll have the Shadow Minister of Legal Affairs and Attorney General, Mr. Royce Ford, joining our show. Not today, but in this week. He is still recovering. And we're going to try and get him to talk about what is happening. Probably we'll do a call-in with him. And so we can talk about what is happening on the petition front. What is happening from the petition to Hopetown. My good people in Hopetown, thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Thomas, when you think things can get crazy again, it's not a real place. We're going to unpack. We're going to unpack just now. Let's get to that magic number. Let more persons jump into the rush this afternoon. St. Lucia. All right, New Jersey again. Barbados in the house. We're going to be unpacking it. We are going to be unpacking it because, and before we get to that, folks, as we get to that magic number, share the live stream, as we get to that magic number this afternoon, before we start talking about these issues, right? Let us go to my opening take because I want to talk talk a few things about the people in Georgetown. In Georgetown, Guyana. Right? I want to talk a few things about the people in Georgetown, Guyana. Because it's quite strange that grown people would continue to dump their garbage like this. Let's go to my opening take this afternoon, folks. Right, folks. Now, opening take this afternoon, we're going to be looking at a particular issue. Now, the garbage issue in Georgetown is not anything new. It's not anything new. And we're going to break down part of the problem with the garbage issue in a moment. But I want to start my opening take with this particular video. It was sent in by a concerned citizen. A concerned citizen sent this video in, and I want to start my opening take with this particular video because it's quite sad. It is quite sad, folks, what is happening in our city. Let me share this video with you. Let me see if I can play this. Sorry. Right.
There's these circumstances we got to walk in a car. Imagine you got them driving through a rubbish bin, and then people got eat it. You're telling you somebody should please do some of this. Anybody in authority, like I like you.
Look at that, folks.
There's these circumstances we got to walk in a car. Imagine you got them driving through a rubbish bin, and then people got eat it. You're telling you somebody should please do some of this. Anybody in authority, like I like you.
Right. You can hear the frustration on the man's voice. You can hear the frustration in his voice. Folks, I am advised by members of the council, the city council, that area was cleaned recently. I'm advised that is a situation that is happening in the city where persons are just dumping their garbage. And let me break down this situation for you folks. And one might ask, how it is, why it is that when the PPP are in power, garbage seems to pile up. Of course, we know that the city council is responsible for garbage collection and solid waste management in the city. So what it is about when the PPP are in power and central government is controlled by the PPP that we see this garbage. We have returned to the garbage city. What have you seen in the public domain since this administration came in? What have you seen from the Minister of Local Government in the 351 days? You see this antagonism, this fight down of the city council. The monies are supposed to go to city council from central government, then get in. They're not getting it. The city council, of course, is controlled by the APNU AFC councillors. So I personally believe that the PPP government really don't care. If the city council can't get money, they can't do things in a timely manner. Of course, that is not the heart or the whole issue here. The bigger issue that I have is that we are responsible people. We are supposed to be responsible people. We are supposed to not dump our garbage, dump our waste in the streets. We are supposed to be. But we're saddled with this situation. We are saddled with this situation, folks. Garbage continues to be dumped by citizens of the city.
There's these circumstances we got to walk in a car. You might get out driving through a rubbish bin, and then people got eat it. You're telling you, somebody should please do some of this.
I don't even know what to say.
You might get out driving through a rubbish bin, and then people got eat it. You're telling you, somebody should please do some of this. Anybody in authority?
Sad. It is quite sad, folks. Quite sad what is happening. And I want to know, I really, really want to know how when it is that we as a people can figure out that why are you dumping the garbage where you were supposed to be working? But I get reports that these are not the bus drivers that are dumping these things here. These are people coming who own stores, who own things. They send the junkies with the garbage and they throw it there. Look at it, the boxes and stuff coming from these stores. Folks, we're in a serious, serious situation. But let's move on from this story, folks. Let's move on from this. And let's get to the major issue today. Let's get to the major issue. Now, we're going to be picking up on a story coming out of Mabaruma. And as I said, my Mabaruma people, Region 1 people, lovely people. Good afternoon to all of my friends in Region number 1. You know, you can't get better. I love my Region 1 people. But folks, let me pick up on this story because this story really hit a chord with me today. This particular story hit a chord with me, and I want to share it with you. Again, we are looking at, we're picking up this story from Village Voice. A Mabaruma doctor who refused to treat sick child relocated to Bartik. And I want to put a little note here that I got from credible sources today. Credible sources that this doctor will not be relocated to Bartik. So I can confirm maybe this news article here got this information from somewhere else. But I can confirm that he will not be moved to Bartik. That is beside the point, though. What is more important, folks, as we look at this issue today, is that we are living in a country where a doctor who swore an oath to serve the people, to do no harm to the people, to look after the sick. That doctor found it necessary to refuse to treat a child. And that doctor is still on the job. That doctor is still on the job. Let me go through this story for those persons who are not aware. A doctor attached to the Mabaruma Regional Hospital who had refused to treat a sick child last Saturday over a post that the boy's mother made on social media. I'm not going to read the other part because, as I said to you, I can confirm that he would not be transferred to Region 7 as this article claims. But we're dealing with the issue at hand here, which is more damning. The woman said that the doctor called her. Let me jump the story. Reports are that the medical professional and his wife, who is also a medical doctor based in Region number 1, would have been relocated to Bartik, but again, that's not true. Right? Let me go to the meat of the story. The move came after a single parent and mother broke down in tears last Saturday when the man bluntly refused to treat her 7-year-old son who was vomiting continuously. The woman, Judith Venezuela, told Village Voice that on Thursday she contacted the regional health officer about the issue. She said that she was not afraid to vent her frustration over the treatment she received last weekend, as well as last April at the hands of the medical couple. Right? Let me continue. Not many persons in the area may have been afraid. Many persons may be afraid to report this, but there's growing dissatisfaction with the staff of the hospital. She had since lodged a report with the police. Venezuela, of course, who lives in Marina Hill, on the outskirts of the town, said that she went to the hospital with her son 2 Saturdays ago for treatment for the lad. When she got the surprise of her life as she encountered the doctor, to my surprise, I was called into a room just to be asked about a post that I posted in April about how I had been mistreated. The woman said that the doctor called her in the room and reminded her about a post, right? She told them that she was not there to discuss anything, rather to ensure that her son received medical attention. The male doctor was reportedly angry by a Facebook post the woman made about the treatment she received at the hospital back in April from his wife. He said, "I'm not looking at none of your family because y'all are a set of horrible people. And I will not look after you." This is what allegedly the doctor said to this woman. This is what the doctor said to this woman. And this is, of course, her account of the story. But folks, you know what is interesting? Again, we heard reports that this person would have been relocated to region number 7. You know what is interesting? That nobody has denied that this happened. Nobody has denied that this happened. Nobody. But let's go. I want to show you who are these people. I want to show the face. I want to show their faces. These are the two people at the heart of the issue. And as the picture says, that this is the Guyana we living in. Dr. Pierre and his wife. This is the man that allegedly refused to treat this little child because his mother complained about how rude his wife was. And this man still has a job. There are rumors that, you know what, they are going to discipline him. This fraudulent government that has been sending home people for nothing. But Doc still got a job. Dr. Evil still has a job. Again, we're just going on the reports, you know. This is what is reported in the newspapers. This is what the woman came forward and said. That he called her into a room and reminded her of her Facebook post. Imagine that. Because the woman criticized his wife, who many claim, of course, there are many allegations out there that she is rude. So he jumped to the defense of his wife. And you know how he decided that he will defend his wife? He will refuse to treat a sick child. Because the mother criticized the wife. And he still has a job. This is the country we live in. This is the country we live in, folks. And if I sound upset this afternoon, it's because this here hits at my core. And I want every single Guyanese to understand how damning this is. Imagine showing up at the Georgetown Hospital with your child. And the doctor calling you into a room and say, listen, I can't treat you because you know what? Last week you posted something on Facebook that I didn't like. And so your child might have to die. And this man still has a job. He is still working. Tell me if something is wrong. People are saying that I'm too judgmental. People are not perfect. The problem with that is that you took a note as a doctor. What if the child had died? The child would have died because the mother made a post on Facebook. That's what they would tell me that is the reason. Because this doctor just shirked his responsibility. His professional responsibility. Basic responsibility as a human being. Basic responsibility as a human. If the child had died, then you would have heard a different story. But Doc here could refuse to treat people. Let us see what will happen. How can you be trusted with the care of people? How? Folks, this story angers me. It really angers me. But we have to move on. Right? We have to move on this afternoon. And as we're talking about healthcare, let's move to the Diamond Diagnostic Center. Diamond Hospital. It seems as we spoke about that story with the doctor in Region 1. Let us come to Region number 4. And let's talk. And I'm going to play a recording for you. Let me set up this other story that irked me. Right? Let me set it up. There is someone at Kurukuru who is going through a medical emergency and has to be transported to Georgetown. This person has to be transported to Georgetown. Let's forget who the players are. Let's forget who called. But let me just set it up for you so you understand the context. The regional vice chair of region number 4, Mr. Samuel Sandy, is the person who made the call to the Diamond Hospital. He spoke to a Farah Khan, I think that's her name, Dr. Farah Khan. And he says to her, do we have any ambulance on the East Bank? There is a serious emergency in Kurukuru where a counselor has to be transported, a regional counselor has to be transported to Georgetown. And I'm going to allow you, my friends, to listen to the conversation very keenly. I want you to pay attention to the conversation. I will pull it up for you. I want you to pay close attention to this conversation.
Hi, good afternoon. Am I speaking with Dr. Ken?
Speaking, good afternoon.
Hi, Dr. Ken. Good afternoon again. Samuel Sandy, Vice Chairman, Region 4. What I'm calling about, do we have any ambulance that plies the East Bank corridor?
Meaning?
No, like, do we have a working ambulance on the East Bank?
I have a working ambulance with Diamond.
So she has an ambulance.
Oh, okay.
And we take off the load from a health center or a health post if they need a ride.
Okay.
All right, so just to set this up for people, this is Regional Vice Chair, Mr. Samuel Sandy, on the phone with Dr. Khan or Dr. Farah Khan from the Diamond Hospital. She said that she has an ambulance. She has a working ambulance. Let's continue.
Well, we have Councillor Fortune, who was hospitalized for about 2 weeks, was sent home. She was discharged yesterday. She has some issues with her leg because she's a diabetic. So they had done a surgery on it, and I think part of her bone and some of her muscles and so on exposed. So she went to the health center today for them to do the dressing, but it was really beyond the nurses there, and it was a bit chaotic for her because she can't move or anything like that sort because of the pain and those kinds of stuff. So we're hoping that we can have an ambulance take her back to the hospital.
If we don't really take her where, which hospital?
Well, she was being treated at Georgetown Public Hospital up until yesterday. So we were going to take her back to Georgetown Hospital.
We can't do that. Why she didn't let the center refer her? Why can't I understand if he needed attention, the center should refer her?
Ms. Khan, I am calling you as the Vice Chairman of Region 4, and we're talking about a counselor.
No, I understand. No, I'm just saying
and we're
we
talking
take her
about a
straight
medical
with our
emergency
ambulance.
for a citizen of Guyana. So if it is that we have an ambulance that is not in use at the moment, is either it can be used or it cannot be used.
So she started off by saying that she has an ambulance. There's a working ambulance. When she heard the situation, well, we really can't do that. We can't send the ambulance. Let's continue.
Well, I have to find out Diamond if we have any emergency. And where is this counselor living?
Kuru.
She would have to come to
Pardon?
Diamond. We would have to bring her to Diamond and then do that refer from Diamond. Because if we take her with an ambulance just as a GCHCA, they would refuse her. She would have to refuse, but she would have to wait then.
Well, they gave her a referral from Georgetown Hospital. They gave her a referral. But the nurses at the health center there in Kuru, they said they can't treat with it.
Does she want to go back today? Now? As in now?
Well, right
I'm
now,
asking.
yes, we want to take her back because she's in and out of consciousness. We can't keep her like that.
Oh, no, I thought it was something. Let me see if my ambulance is available. You would have to send me the person's contact number.
All right, I'll send you the number.
Or address, or the address of the person, because if the ambulance is not in town or on a trunk, then we would have to let them have the patient ready, because it's just one ambulance that we would use. We have.
Now, remember at the beginning of this conversation, Dr. Farah Khan said that, yes, I have an ambulance. She said that she had an ambulance. When she heard, one, it was coming from the vice chair, and then it was a counselor, all started dancing around about the ambulance. This woman there is sitting going in and out of consciousness. And this doctor is refusing to send the ambulance that works the East Bank. This is the sort of situation that unfolds every day in this country. We have people in this country who allow other things to blind their professional responsibility, to taint their good name for what? For what? For what, folks? I want to know if this ambulance belongs to Dr. Farah Khan. That's what I want to know, because she said, I have an ambulance, and I was saying, my ambulance. I thought the ambulance belonged to the hospital and the government of Guyana. Quite sad.
Take her there.
I'll send you the number for her sister. She'll be able to provide you with the additional information.
All right.
Thank you very much, Ms. King. Right.
Good, folks. Just to add to this story, that ambulance never showed up for that counselor. It never did. That doctor on the phone, mama guying and dancing around when she heard that it was the regional vice chair calling, and he's calling to transport a counselor. Counselor Fortune. All manner of dancing around. These are the people that we have in our health sector. That ambulance never came. You think it's easy? These are the things, folks. These are the things we're talking about daily. Like the doctor in region, like doc there in region number 1, who decided that he's not going to treat this sick child because of some post. There we have the people at Diamond, not the people of Diamond, so to speak, but this specific Dr. Khan at Diamond. You heard it on the phone call. She started out by saying, yes, I have an ambulance. And then at the end of the conversation, well, I can check and see if my ambulance could make it. Dr. Khan probably bought that ambulance for the hospital. So it can't do certain work. It can't go for certain people. It can't. That ambulance never went. Those people had to jump in a private vehicle and take Counselor Fortune past the hospital, which most likely the ambulance was parked up right there, down to Georgetown. They had to pass that Diamond Hospital. This is the Guyana we live in, folks. And many may wonder, you know what? Why is it that people speak so ill of the PPP? It is because of things like these that they experience every single day. It is because of that criminal cabal that is sitting in Parliament illegally, the PPP. That is why people speak so ill of them. And that is why you look around Guyana right now and everybody's trying to leave. Everybody is trying to leave. Folks, I want to know what your thoughts are this afternoon. Let me know what you're thinking. What are your thoughts on the situation? And I specifically focus on these two health situations. Doctors have a moral, professional responsibility to take care of people. How it is that people allow the politics to make them inhumane? How? How would you allow that somebody's post that criticizes your wife for you to refuse to treat a sick child? How? I really don't know. I want to give you the opportunity today, folks, to have your say. So let's head straight into our Have Your Say segment this afternoon. You can give us a call. The number will be on the screen. Right, folks, we are back, and it's time for you to have your say. 618-7321. Let me know what you think about the situation, the stories that we spoke of today, folks. We didn't even touch what is happening on our roads. As we get ready to listen to what you have to say this afternoon. Our condolences are with those persons who lost their lives last evening on the road. We have a recurring situation. We seem to be talking about it. Our situation, our carnage on our roads are akin to what is happening in I liken it to America's gun violence issue. All we do is talk about it. All we do is talk about it. The police are going to go out on the road for a couple of mornings when they can have a campaign, and they're, and then we're going to go back to regular practice. Caller, good afternoon. Have your say.
Randy, now I was made to understand that the vaccine at Georgetown Hospital.
That person, we lost that caller. Have an next caller. Good afternoon. Have your say.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hear what's happened right now in Guyana. The government don't have no regard for nobody. Likewise, person in certain profession under this PPP regime don't have no regard for nobody too. And we seen it every day. Because when, take for example, like all those two doctors refuse to do XYZ. Now, when you go and make complaint, nobody looking after what they have done.
Yeah.
Right? So they could do what they want, and because nobody telling them nothing, or nobody wouldn't do them anything.
Yep.
But because for example, like out of child vomiting, a doctor refuse and telling the woman that the doctor supposed to have done your home already.
Yep.
Right?
This government has been sending people home for less than that.
Good. Right?
This is madness.
Now come to the garbage we're throwing away in Georgetown. Now, even when we quarantine here, we have a system here in quarantine that like Combine and Heimak and so must not travel on the road. Because they go break up the road. Since PPP going government here, Combine and Heimak driving on the road, police can't do them nothing. And when police will happen, then they call somebody big, tell the police, hey, lose the man go home. So the guy in So that is what going on in the country.
Yeah. It's lawlessness. Thank you for your contribution, caller.
Good. All right.
As we talk about that, let me take this other caller. Caller, 1 second, please. Just hold on, please. As we talk about that, we are going to be tomorrow showing you some pictures of what is happening in 𝐶𝐞. We got some pictures from a concerned citizen. Sorry about that, caller. We got some picture from a concerned citizen about what is happening there at 𝐶𝐞. Apparently, lots of confusion there in terms of the cleaning and where they're dumping the stuff that they get out of the trenches. So we're going to be sharing with you that information tomorrow. But continue to call us, folks. 618-7321. Give us your views on what we shared today. As I was saying, folks, we keep talking about the carnage on our roads, and we have not done anything to really address it. Caller, good afternoon. Hello. Caller, you're online.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, sir. All right, this caller seems not to be ready. Folks, 618-7321. Give us your take today. Have your say. Have your say. Good afternoon to you, caller. Welcome to the Rush. Have your say.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm going to try to be quick.
Okay, good afternoon.
Yes, I can speak on each topic specifically.
Go ahead.
But I'm not going to do that. As it relates to the garbage issue, I'm going to talk about that. That is something that we as a people need to really think about. I mean, it's an obvious problem, and as individuals, we need to think about that. But let's look at the picture holistically. All of these are the issues we are facing, and I want those persons, because I know we have PPP supporters on the program. I want to make it clear that this is not about PPP or APNU-AFC. Yes, it's an APNU-AFC program, but this is not about politics. We need to, as a people, understand that there are things that are morally correct. There are things that we should be able to follow. You're going to tell me that you are going to allow something that is wrong to continue simply because you disagree with the person who is right? Your disagreement comes because you don't support their party. That is ridiculous. Come on, man. We are adults, most of us. Look, the human resource of a country is the most important resource, because the human resource is the resource that would exploit and would conserve the natural resources. Without us, nothing can work. And if this is the mentality of people, I've seen some comments by persons in today's post and in previous posts where they don't tackle the issue. They tackle the fact that the issue being highlighted is coming from some party that they don't agree with. And that is ridiculous, and that is why we're having this problem. I had a student the other day. I was dealing with an issue, and the issue with the female student had to do with another student. And the child was crying to me while her mother was on the way, and she said, "Miss, Mommy goes vex because it's a black man."
Wow.
That is, the student told me that.
Wow.
This is what we are dealing with. So she was not even upset about the issue itself, which was serious. And these are the things that we're dealing with. We need to step away from politics right now. At this point in time, yes, there is APNU-AFC, yes, there is PPP, but the things going on in our country will continue because mommy and daddy, that's APNU-AFC and PPP, they're too busy fighting, and the children, the Guyanese people, are suffering. We need to step away from that. We need to put pride aside.
Good point, caller. Thank you for that this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Right. Folks, we're continuing with our calling segment. Have your say this afternoon. We have a few more minutes on the program before we go to Ms. MP Natasha Singh Lewis with her program Building Bridges at 6:30. But let us know in the last few minutes that we have, what are your thoughts? Have your say this afternoon. Folks, I mean, the issue with our traffic situation, I was listening to a live today when the person on the live spoke about the fact that a lot of these bus drivers don't necessarily pass the exam. People are buying their books, right? Some of the buses are owned by police officers, so they're allowed to do what they have to do break the laws to make a fast buck. So we have a whole heap of corruption and confusion, and that is endangering the lives of our people. That is endangering the lives of our people. So as we think about that, we think about all that is happening. Give us a call, 618-7321. We have one more caller here. Caller, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon, Randy.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I was made to understand at Georgetown Hospital.
Yes.
The staff, a circular came out for us to take the vaccine. And if we don't take the vaccine, every Monday, you gotta go and do the COVID test. If you refuse to take the vaccine, every week you gotta go and do COVID tests. You got to blow your nose every week.
Well,
I don't think that is fair.
Well, I'm a little indifferent on that. I feel that you shouldn't be forced to take the vaccine. But if it is that you want to ensure that everybody on staff is safe and COVID free, then this might be an alternative that may work. Right? If you don't want to take the vaccine, then at least the least you can do is show me that you don't have COVID. You understand? I don't necessarily disagree with that, but the part that I wouldn't agree with is if you are forced to take the vaccine.
Okay.
Right.
So
I mean, I have a different opinion on that, but I understand that some people may find it inconvenient to having to push a thing up their nose every Monday.
Every week.
Yeah. I understand.
Every week.
But it's probably a compromise, because I wouldn't tell anybody to be forced into taking the vaccine. Right? It's your personal choice. But again, we have to strike a balance and ensure that people are safe. All right. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Great. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Rush. Have your say.
Evening.
Good evening. Have your say.
Yeah, I'm calling from French Guiana.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Go ahead.
Yeah. The question I wanted to ask: why is it that the government is telling people that they should be vaccinated? In French Guiana here, the president speak a couple of days ago about that everybody should be vaccinated, and that you should be vaccinated. You can't enter the supermarket or anywhere without having showing your card. The people in this country are kicking up a storm that they will not be vaccinated, because it is not okay. I can't bring out the word in English, but it's not obligato. So in French, it's obligato. It's not obligato for you to be vaccinated, because it is not. If you don't have this virus, why is it that you should be having this vaccine? Yeah. And last night I was watching the news. This vaccine that the government is giving people, I'm asking myself, I question myself every day, what is really going on? Is our Guyanese people are not taking a moment to listen to news worldwide, or are we just listening to what the government has to say about this vaccine? Yeah. These things are not good, especially the one from what the place name? Russia. That vaccine is passed nowhere in the world. Why the government is giving these people these things? Yeah. And one thing, I'm asking myself again, what is the APNU is doing about this? About protesting about this 𝐓𝐡𝐞 chair that we have here, that is doing a bundle of nonsense, that signed a paper about this recount and did not stand up to her word. Yeah. A woman with dignity, a woman that we should have class. Yeah. And just make everything fall down just because of a bunch of people, a bunch of fraud, a bunch of criminals.
Okay, Carl, let me answer your question off, because we have another person trying to call in. I'll answer that question, right? Thank you for your contribution.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we have another caller trying to call in there. Caller from French Guiana. I will answer your question. I will talk about the recount and the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 chair just before we go. But let's take this other caller. Trying to get in for a while. Caller, good afternoon. Have your say.
Hi, good afternoon, Randy.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Randy, this issue with the doctor in Region 1 is rather unfortunate. Yeah. However, a cousin of this doctor is a counselor on the Regional Democratic Council from Mabuba.
Interesting.
And, this counselor, after seeing the post and all, and know that the issue is serious and her cousin is in, obviously in hot water. But she was brave enough to tell one of my friends that nothing will come out of this story, man. We got people in position. We can deal with it.
Yep.
So, you see, you see the kind of thinking, the kind of things that other people got to go through because you got people in position, you could do as you please. Something is wrong with these people.
And these are the people we're talking about. And I'm happy you're on the line because this is what we are saying. This is what we are saying. Now you're giving us some information again. I can't confirm the information here, but based on what you just said, is that these people are very cavalier with the matter. So you know what? Nothing will come out of it. I could refuse. This person could refuse to treat a sick child, and nothing will come out of it because they got people in the position. And it is sad. It is really, really sad.
Very much so. Very much so. It's not a political issue. It's not a political problem. Mm-hmm. But when politicians want to get involved, and they make it a political issue.
Yeah.
And now it's rather unfortunate that he has to be dealt with. Quite rightly so, though.
Yeah, man, I don't think that the people of Region 1 should sit down quietly and allow this thing to continue, or allow this doctor to remain there without any sort of reprimand, without any sort of disciplinary action taken against him and his wife in this case, because apparently she is the heart of this issue. This is why he said this, because the woman complained about her attitude. And if I am living in Region 1, I am concerned. Right now, I would be very concerned that if I go to the hospital, whether or not I will be refused because of something I said. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Caller, good afternoon. Javier Sevi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The matter pertaining to the doctor.
Yes.
I think this matter should be reported to the 𝐬𝐢𝐜𝐻. This matter should be reported to the 𝐬𝐢𝐜𝐻, and some action should be taken.
Yeah.
It can't go down so easy, man.
Yeah. And I'm saying the people of Region 1 should start making some noise, as he's putting their lives in danger.
Exactly. Let us get this thing to the doctor. They want the Dynamic Medical Council and all them people. Just go to the 𝐬𝐢𝐜𝐻.
Yeah.
And they take up this matter. This thing got to go deep, man. You can't put pressure on people behaving like that.
Yeah.
No way. Thank you, very.
Thank you very much, caller. Antigua and Barbuda calling in the air. Folks, this is, and again, when I read this story this morning, again, we're picking up the story from the Village Voice. I can confirm that the article that says that the doctor will be moved to region number 7 is not, that part of it, the transfer is not necessarily accurate, because I got from credible sources that the doctor is not going to be transferred to region 7. Caller?
Good afternoon again.
Obviously.
You see, I just telling you just now about the doctor region 1. You hear what the man say? Somebody in authority shade in the back. Go to see. So you could do what you want. Somebody there they looking in back. So whatever you will do, they're gonna save you. So I just been telling you all. He's even calling you about the doctor region 1. So you hear what the guy say? Somebody in the council telling not now come out the story, right?
Yeah.
So they don't know what they gotta do.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Good.
And it's up to the people, folks. It is up to the people to say that they are not accepting this. It is up to the people to say that we are not accepting this. Right? That is a very sad situation. It's a very sad situation, folks. As we run out of program time today, we continue to watch what is happening around the country. Let me just spend a few seconds talking about the petition, folks. We have made it clear. The APNU AFC would have made it clear that the GCOM, the Ghana Elections Commission, of course, would have erred on so many levels. But that recount order that was entered into and then was basically discarded, and it became count all the votes. It was, let us do an audit of the votes and only include the credible and valid votes, became count up all the votes. It was a bad faith agreement. And I don't see any other election where you're going into an election, 1, with that same list, 2, with Claudette Singh there. Can't happen. Can't happen. So there are a lot of things that got to change, Carla, and we're going to dedicate an entire program as we come up to the 2nd of August, a year since the fraud took place. A year since the fraud took place, the great fraud. We're going to be doing a number of programs dedicated to highlighting the ills of what happened during the 3 days of the recount. Let's take one more call from Barbados. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to the Rush. Have your say.
Yeah, Randy. This is ordinary clock on my watch. Okay. I don't know what happened to you.
Go ahead.
So I talk fast. Yes, people should report this to who are some high authority as a master WHO. Right? They should protest him. The people in every area of the village should protest him in front of the house at the hospital. They should protest. They should come out in real numbers and protest him. And another thing concerning the garbage, Jagdio and them that live in Pradovia, they're not living in Georgetown among the stinking garbage. So those people are silly. They are very silly.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're thinking, but they're silly to drop garbage all over the place. In some countries, they are fined just because they're not getting fined. They can do any foolishness. Anyhow, I gone.
Thank you very much for your contribution. And with that, we'll end the program this afternoon. Folks, it was great having conversations with you. Always lovely to hear you. I'm very, very thankful that you're willing to call in and have your say, because we need people's voices. Like the people in Region 1 need to get up and make some noise at the hospital in front of this man's house somewhere. Because this foolishness is, as I said, we are the proverbial frog in this boiling water slowly. We're getting to a point where we can't jump out the water because it's too hot, and before you know it, we're dead. Well, these are the things that you have to nip in the bud, folks. Let us make some noise. All right? Vanessa Lewis said the doctor must go. He must go. That is my position. You should not be able to see patients anymore. Right? You should go find a different profession, because the medical profession is obviously not for you. Find something else to do. As the caller just called and said that your cousin is on the council and nothing can come out of it. The people of Mabaruma should hear this. That this doctor could do whatever he wants, his wife could do whatever he wants, and allegedly his cousin could say, nothing can come out of it. That's where we are, folks. That's the situation. That is the situation. We'll take one final call. Caller, good afternoon. Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry about that, caller, but we definitely have to go. We'll take you. Let's keep your thoughts for another show. Sorry about that, but let's go, folks. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Let's work together, folks. Let's work together for national development. Let's not be like the PPP. Let's continue to work together for national development, because Guyana is a great country, but we'll not realize our potential if we continue with this criminal cabal called the PPP, this fraudulent administration. That's a first business. That's a first order of business. Get the PPP fraudulently installed regime out of there. Do enjoy the rest of the evening, folks. My name is Randolph Critchell. It was lovely being here with you. Do stay tuned for Natasha Singh Lewis building bridges, and then we'll tune in at 8 p.m. for Sherry Duncan in the ring. Thank you very much.